Hello friends, welcome back to Level Stack. Well, today I'm going to show you how VSS works, right? So before we see how VSS works, we should understand what is VSS, right? So Volume Shadow Copy Service, that is VSS, is a Windows component that helps applications to back up consistent data. It also provides a mechanism for creating consistent point-in-time copy of the data, also known as shadow copy. Thus, VSS communicates with your backup application and its components, file systems, as well as system hardware to provide stable copies of your data. Okay. Majorly, there are two types of shadow copies. One is clone full copy, and the second one is copy and write, also known as COW. Let us first look at what is clone full copy. As the name suggests, clone full copy is the full and exact copy of the data on the source volume that is being shadow copied. Okay, so as long as the data is cloned, it remains synced with each other until you break the connection. Okay, and once you break the connection, the shadow copy volume becomes independent. However, the original volume will remain intact and active and will continue to serve the IO request. Now, let's look at the copy on write, also known as COW, that's the differential copy. So let's start with an example. I have this Microsoft Word, okay, and there's my desk, a source volume. Let's say I have opened the Word and I've typed any random characters like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, okay, and I have enabled shadow copies, right? So what this VSS does, before I go ahead and overwrite my letter A, okay, it will copy that block and store it in a differential area. Once that is done, it will then allow the applications to replace or overwrite the block A with block 7. Thus, with the block from the differential area and from the original area, you can restore the shadow copy or the exact copy of the data at that time. That is how the COW works. So, COW creates a differential copy instead of the cloning the drive. And on Windows, this differential area is stored in the system volume information, which is usually hidden and will have very limited writes. Okay. Now let's look at the VSS architecture. So the important component here is VSS. The requesters, they talk to your VSS. Okay, the request for backups. Then the VSS will go to the writers. So the writers are your backup. The writers are your application-specific data components. They know what data to be backed up. Writers provide the data to VSS, and then VSS go and talks to the providers, who in turn are responsible to shadow copy the source volume. Okay. So in the later slides, we will see how exactly they work with each other. Okay. For now, let's look at the components one by one. Requester, they are your backup applications, right? So Windows Server backup or Net backup, Games Network or Excel. They are the ones who request VSS for the shadow copies and communicate with the application writers to ensure that the correct and consistent data is returned so that the data can be restored later in case of disaster-like situation. Basically, they are your backup application, right? Let us now look at the writers. So the writers are application specific, as in they know what data of the writer of the application is important to backup, right? They know what data of the Exchange or SQL server has to be backed up. Likewise, every application will have its own writer, which tells the requester what data should be backed up and how it should be restored. Example, it provides information like application icons and files to include, what to exclude. Also, a strategy on how to restore the files. Thus, the writers also work with the VSS to provide consistent shadow copies when the application is writing data to the disk. Okay, now let's look at the providers. So providers could be your software provider or could be your hardware provider. Basically, provider are the ones, are the important components who create shadow copies of the file. that is point-in-time copy of the source volume. Provider responds to the signal of the requester and VSS and create shadow copy. Depending upon their functionality, we could have different providers like hardware provider, software provider, system software provider. That's your Windows provider. Okay. Now, let's see how all these components come together and helps in shadow copy creation. Okay. So, a requester, as you know, via your backup application, they will request VSS for the backups. In the backend, they ask VSS to gather all the writers, collect their metadata, and prepare them for shadow copy. VSS will then pass information to the writers. Right? In this case, let's see we have SQL and Exchange application. So the writers of these applications, they will check, they will complete all the open transactions, they will roll back any pending transactions and flush the caches. Okay. Once that is done, then they go back to the VSS and tell them that the data is ready for shadow copy creation. Okay. Once the VSS confirms that this data is ready for the shadow copy creation, it starts the shadow copy phase. Okay. And it asks the writers to freeze their IOs, okay, for a minimum 60 seconds. Meanwhile, VSS will freeze and flush file system buffers to ensure that the file system metadata is returned and stored in a consistent state. Okay. Writers then freeze their IOs for 60 seconds, and within the 60 seconds, VSS will tell your provider that it has 10 seconds to shadow copy the volume. Okay. So once the provider creates the shadow copy of the source volume, VSS will release the writers from their temporarily inactive phase, and all the queued write IOs are completed. Okay. Post this, it also performs a check to see if they were able to pause the application IO successfully during the shadow copy creation. And once confirming that they were stable, the shadow copies are handed over back to the by the provider to the requester to manage the backups. Okay. And this is how the data is backed up in Windows using the VSS. Okay. That is all for this video. I hope it helped you to understand the steps used in creating shadow copies. In case if you still have any questions, please feel free to comment. If you like the video, hit like, and yes, please do subscribe. Thank you very much for watching this video. Have a great time ahead. Goodbye.